Hi, my name is Amy Carlson. I'm a counselor here at Park Vista, and today's coffee talk topic is career exploration for high school students. So we're going to talk a little bit about some tools that you can use to help your high school student try to find a college major and a career path. So I was looking for some materials to use for this presentation, and I came across this video that I wanted to share just to get us started. So I am going to shut off my mic and my camera so that they don't interfere with the recording, and I'll play the video now.
Hey guys, Maria here. People keep asking me, do you have a plan for life after high school? And I'm like, how am I supposed to figure that out? School has sort of been the biggest thing I've ever done in my whole life. For all that time, I haven't had to worry about what to do next. That's about to end, and I have to answer the question, what do I want to be when I grow up? When I was in the second grade, I wanted to be a princess and a doctor. The good news is, I can still do that. Well, maybe not the princess part, but the path to being a doctor is right here in front of you. You see, answering that first question is the first step in finding your career. And which one you choose can set you down very different paths. I want to be a doctor, which means 4 years of college and then medical school. But maybe you don't want to be a doctor, and a 2-year trade school would be better. Maybe joining the military is your jam, or you could get in on the ground floor of a profession right now. The point is, you have to have a plan. It isn't going to be made for you, and the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. Now you're looking at me and saying, I don't know what I want to do. So, here's your homework. Yay, homework! Make a list of what you're interested in, what skills you have, what kind of lifestyle you want to have, and things you believe in. I did this, and on my list, I'm interested in science, I have a great memory, and good people skills. I don't necessarily need to be rich, but I'd like to go on a vacation. And I believe in the calling to help others. Next, I took my list and did some research on the jobs I can do. I eventually landed on doctor. It checks out on all of my boxes. Now, this all might sound a little scary, you know, choosing a path for the rest of your life. But here's the thing, if you choose something that you end up not liking, you can always make another choice. You're not locked in forever. The important thing is, you need to start somewhere. Take that first step that will lead you to the next step. As always, if this has your head spinning, then go see your advanced academic counselor. They understand what you're going through, and they want to help. Now get up and make a plan. Do it! Hey, if you like this, and you're freaking out about life after high school, I've got more videos with a ton of great information. This is Maria, signing off.
So I love Maria. I'm sure we all love Maria, and you know, she's absolutely right about everything that she says. You need to have a plan. You need to, you know, figure out the things that you like and dislike and all those things. She's absolutely right about that. She's also right that what you choose during career exploration is not necessarily what you need to do for the rest of your life. And I'm sure a lot of us know we've made a lot of career changes in our lifetime. But Maria is very, very driven. She's very self-aware. She knows exactly what she's interested in. She knows what skills she has. She knows what kind of lifestyle she wants to have, and she knows what she believes in. But in my experience sitting down with high school students, when you ask them to make a list of these things, it's sometimes an impossible task. More often than not, they don't know the answer to these things yet. So really, the first step in career exploration is finding out the answers to these things. What are you interested in? What skills do you have? What kind of lifestyle do you want to have? And what is it that you believe in? So in essence, career exploration is really self-exploration. It's not just about looking at different jobs and narrowing it down, because that's huge. There are so many different occupations out there and so many paths that a student can take for their future, but you have to find out these things about you first. So besides finding out about your likes and dislikes and your personal preferences, your values, career exploration is also a good lesson on short and long-term goal setting. Also, getting involved in things that you enjoy and that you're interested in and staying engaged in those things. A lot of times, you know, students want to try everything, and that's great, but it's even better to find a few things that you're very interested in and stick with them and show depth of involvement in those things. It's also about developing autonomy and decision-making skills, which are obviously crucial for young adults who are going to go into the real world very soon. So there are a bunch of tools that can be used for career exploration, but the three most popular sort of tools that are used for this are interest inventories, and those take a look at a person's likes and dislikes, their favorite activities, and their personality. Then they compare those qualities with the qualities of people who are already working in specific careers and find matches that way. Values inventories answer that question of what's important to you. What do you value most? So what kind of environment do you want to be in? What kind of activities and interactions do you want to have in your life? And how does that translate into your choice of career? Examples of values are independence, achievement, balance, influence, integrity, and creativity. Are those things important to you? Do you want to be a helper, or do you want to be a builder, or do you want to be both? So those things are things that you learn through a values inventory. Abilities and aptitude inventories are used to help identify strengths and assess the likelihood of success in specific careers. A lot of times it's very difficult for students to name exactly what their strengths and weaknesses are. It's one of the hardest questions as adults that we get on a job interview is the strengths and weakness question. We really have to work beforehand to answer that. So aptitude and abilities inventories help students to identify those strengths so that they have the answer to that question. Most career exploration tools are based on Holland's theory, and that's also sometimes known as RIASEC because the categories are realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. So they use the acronym RIASEC. And Holland's theory assumes that the choice of vocation or college major is an expression of personality, and that most people can be classified as one of 6 of these primary personality types. The realistic, investigative, artistic, social, and enterprising and conventional. The realistic are the doers, the builders, the ones that work with their hands. The investigative are the thinkers, the scientists, the researchers. Artistic are the creators. We all know some artistic, creative people, love to draw, love to create things. Social are the helpers, like me. I'm a counselor. I'm in that category for the most part. Enterprising are the persuaders, the salespeople, and conventional are the organizers, like the accountants, the people who are good at categorizing and organizing. And also in these categories, there's a lot of overlap, but in general, you'll see that most people fall strongly into 1 or 2 or maybe 3 categories and not so much in the others. And something that I love about career exploration that's different from other kinds of tests and inventories that you might take is there's no wrong answer in this. All of these people are necessary in our society. So no matter what a student's results are in this process, they can always feel good about them because it's really just about who they are. There's no value judgment placed on which category you land in. So that's why I really love career exploration. Because it's just finding out about yourself and who you are. So the first great tool I want to look at with you is mynextmove.org interest inventory. This is presented by ONET, which is basically the #1 career site in the nation. It has all the most up-to-date information about every industry in the country. The outlook on how much that industry will grow in the future, the descriptions of the vocations, and what it takes to get there. So basically, the ONET interest profiler has 60 questions about work activities that people do at their jobs, and you read each question and you tell how you feel about it. So it goes from the yucky face, strongly dislike, dislike, unsure, like, and really, really like. And it gives you a little icon there to help guide your choices. And then you'll see it gives you descriptions of things, and then it asks you to indicate how you feel about each thing. So building kitchen cabinets, do you love that? Do you hate it? Are you kind of in the middle about that? Laying brick or tile, how do you feel about that? And on and on. And so there are 5 pages and there are 60 questions. Each page looks just like this. And then once you're done with that, it gives you your results. And I took this to show as an example here of what that looks like. So you can see that my results were, I'm very highly social. I had 29 in the social, but close, I had 23 in artistic, also. A little bit investigative, not so enterprising, not so conventional, and not at all realistic. So then once you click next, it shows you the job zones that you can choose from. And the job zones tell you how much education, training, and experience you need. So there are 5 categories of job zones. And job zone 1 is for occupations that need little or no preparation. Job zone 2, occupations that need some preparation. Job zone 3, occupations that need medium preparation, like an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. Job zone 4 would be an occupation that needs considerable preparation, like probably a master's degree. And job zone 5 are occupations that need extensive preparation, like maybe a PhD or an MD. So I chose job zone 3 just to see where I would fall in the middle with medium preparation. So now what this is doing is it's taking those results of my interest inventory and it's matching them up with the job zone. Job zone 3, most occupations require training in vocational schools, related on-the-job experience, or an associate's degree. Related experience, they want to see previous work-related skill, knowledge, or experience. For example, an electrician must have completed 3 or 4 years of apprenticeship or several years of vocational training and must have passed a licensing exam to perform the job. Training employees in these occupations usually need 1 or 2 years of training, which involve both on-the-job experience and informal training with experienced workers, so some sort of internship or apprenticeship. And the job zone examples, these usually involve communication and organizational skills to coordinate, supervise, manage, or train others to accomplish goals. So let's take a look at the results for my interest in job zone 3. So you can see it shows you the careers that fit your interests and the preparation level that you want to have. So I don't want to be in school forever. I'm picking job zone 3. And my first really good match is preschool teacher, which makes sense because I'm a counselor. So I'm already working in that field. So you can see that this comes back with pretty reliable results. When you answer those questions honestly in the interest inventory, the second best fit is self-enrichment education teachers, again, related to what I'm actually doing in my career now. The difference with my career now is that my career would probably be in job zone 4 or 5. But for job zone 3, these are the matches that it came up with for me. So what I did was I clicked on preschool teachers to see where that would bring me. And what that brings you to is a really detailed summary report. And this is something that's so great about O-Net and about My Next Move is the level of detail. So the first part of the summary shows you the tasks that are involved with the occupation that you're looking at. So for preschool teachers, the tasks are teaching basic skills such as colors, shapes, numbers, and letter recognition, personal hygiene, and social skills, establishing and enforcing rules for behavior, adapting teaching methods and instructional materials to meet students' varying needs, providing a variety of materials and resources, serving meals and snacks. This just shows you the first 5, but there are 34 other tasks here. So it's really, really detailed. And that can give a student an idea when they're looking at this of, is that something that I want to be doing? You know, sometimes students have an idea in their head about what a certain occupation entails, but this can really give them a wake-up call to say, man, that's not what I thought that was. I don't want to be serving meals and snacks. I don't want to be disciplining. So even just the first part with the tasks can tell a lot about whether a student wants to continue to pursue this as a choice of occupation. It goes on to talk about the technology skills that you're going to need to have in the profession that you choose. For a preschool teacher, you're going to need computer-based training software, email, Office suite, spreadsheet softwares, and then the knowledge that you need to have. It tells you about the education and training, the languages you might need to know, public safety and security, customer and personal service, and psychology. You might have to have some psychology background to be a teacher. So that's another thing that students can see. Are these things that I'm interested in learning? Am I already learning these things? Do I like the classes that involve these sort of things? Do I like my English class? Am I interested in psychology? Then it goes on to tell you about the skills that you need for each profession. So for preschool teachers, you need instructing, speaking, active listening, learning strategies, and coordination. So, and this is, again, just 5 out of the 16 skills that are listed here. And this is an opportunity for students to say, what do I need to work on myself? Am I a good active listener? Am I paying attention? Because if I really want to be a preschool teacher, I need that skill. I need that active listening skill. So that's something I love about the skills section here. Abilities, they need the oral comprehension, they need the ability to listen and understand information, oral expression, the ability to communicate information and ideas clearly, speech clarity, problem sensitivity, the ability to tell when something is wrong or likely to go wrong, and originality, the ability to come up with unusual or clever ideas about a given topic or situation. Work activities for each vocation are also listed. What do you do day to day in this job? Assisting and caring for others, establishing and maintaining interpersonal relationships, getting information, training and teaching others, and thinking creatively are just a few. And that, again, it's so highly detailed. And then detailed work activities are beneath that, and that goes into even more detail. There are 32 detailed work activities there. Then it goes on to talk about the interests. So you saw in the results of my interest inventory that I was highly social and highly artistic. So that tells you, this tells you here how this fits in there. Social occupations frequently involve working with, communicating with, and teaching people. The occupations also often involve helping or providing service to others, which of course is what I do as a counselor. Artistic occupations frequently involve working with forms, designs, and patterns. They often require self-expression, and the work can be done without following a clear set of rules. Just like the presentation that I'm making right now. You know, it's somewhat artistic. I have to work with this program and make this this presentation, and that's how my artistic side comes out. So again, these are pretty valid. This interest inventory ONET is very valid and reliable. Work styles, it tells you need integrity, self-control, dependability, concern for others, adaptability, and flexibility, among, you know, just a few. But here's another thing that students can use to reflect on what they need to work on. How's my self-control? You know, am I going to be able to keep my cool around a classroom full of rowdy kids? That's a real question that students need to ask themselves when they're looking at vocations. Does this fit me? And if it doesn't, am I willing to do the work that it takes to make this fit for me? Am I dependable? Am I on time? Do I show up to class on time? Maybe not so much. Maybe that's something I need to work on. You know, so it's not just looking at these things when you're doing the career exploration. It's thinking about how that relates to you and what do you need to do to reach that goal. If my goal is to be a preschool teacher, I need to work on these things. I need to figure out how now I can start getting these qualities to be ready to pursue this career. Work values. We talked a little bit about values inventories, which ONET doesn't have a values inventory, but it does tell you the work values that are involved in each profession. So the work values for a preschool teacher would be relationships, achievement, and independence. So these are things that may be important to a person who's going to be a preschool teacher. Here, a student might ask themselves, is this really important to me? Are relationships, service to others and work with coworkers in a friendly, non-competitive environment, is that really important to me? To me, it is. So I think this sounds really good. Achievement. Occupations that satisfy this work value are results-oriented and allow employees to use their strongest abilities, giving them a feeling of accomplishment. I like the sound of that. Independence. Occupations that satisfy this work value allow employees to work on their own and make decisions. To me, this sounds good. So again, very reliable. I just want to point out something here. You see where this little arrow is? Next to each of these points in every career that you'll find on ONET, there's these plus signs. And when you click on the plus sign, it shows you the related occupations. So let's say I'm looking at this and I'm saying, I really don't like the sound of being a preschool teacher, but I really, really love the concern for others feature of it. I want to know what other jobs involve concern for others. Then it'll tell me, here are the related occupations for that work style: counseling psychologists, pediatricians, school counselors, healthcare and social workers. So I might want to click on, or directors of religious activities and education. I might want to click on another one of these and check those out because they may be a better match for me than preschool teacher. And that's in every one of these. So um, let's say I really like establishing and maintaining personal relationships. You can click on the plus sign there and find other occupations that are related to that work activity. So the level of detail, again, is really, really great. Another great feature here in that section, after you take the interest inventory, is it tells you where to find the credentials to do this job. So you click on Find Training, and then you click on your state, and it shows you all of the colleges in that state that offer the program that will lead to that career. So the first one that comes up is UF. They have a program in early childhood education and teaching. When you click on this link, it goes straight to the UF website, and you can look more into what's needed at that particular college. So another great feature there is that it'll take you right where you want to go as far as college options for your career. Another tool that I really love for high school students in particular are the ACT inventories. These are quick and simple ways to help you learn more about yourself, and the results suggest occupations and college majors that fit your interests, your abilities, and your values. So there are actually 3 inventories in the ACT inventories. There is an interest, values, and an abilities inventory. And then you can take one or you can take all 3. Obviously, if you take all 3, you'll get much more reliable results, but you can just take one if you want and see what you get. And then the career and the major maps are an awesome feature of the ACT inventories, which I'm going to show you now. The link to get to that is here, my.act.org/plan/inventory/introduction. So if you go there, you will have to make an account first on the website, but that's quick and easy. And then once you have your account, you know, students who are going to take the ACT anyway will have an ACT account. You have to have an ACT account anyway. So, but most students would just go here to scores. Now we're going to go here to plans. And for our purposes today, we'll be looking at take your inventories. So one thing that's really cool about, okay, wait. So then we have to click get started. And you can see there's an interest inventory, an abilities inventory, and a values inventory, which gives you more than what the ONET inventory gave. So the interest inventory, we'll start with this, can consist of 72 questions, and then there aren't as many choices as there are in the ONET interest profiler. So it's either dislike, indifferent, or like. So that's something that I really like. For high school students who maybe don't have as much of an attention span, it's a cleaner sort of design, it's more sleek, and there are less options, dislike, indifferent, or like. And here's another thing that I was just going to say a little too early a minute ago. I love about the ACT inventory is that for each thing, it gives you a photo of the thing that it's describing. So for students who are visual learners or who really can use that visual cue to help them understand what they're reading, the ACT inventory is so good for that. And as you can see, it's just simpler. I think for students who have trouble with focusing, the ONET inventory can look very busy. It's very colorful and it's smaller, and there are a lot of choices. This is much cleaner. So they, like, for example, the first question in the interest inventory, or the first prompt, is use a microscope or other lab equipment, dislike, indifferent, or like. And then it shows you a picture of a person using a microscope in a lab. And so students can say, I like this or I don't like it, and then they move on. And there are 72 of those. Then you move on to the abilities inventory, and this is the one that helps you see how your abilities relate to certain occupations. So here you're going to gauge what your ability is. So they're going to show you different examples of abilities, and you're going to say, am I really good at that? Am I in the upper 10% of that? Am I above average at that? Am I good at that? You know, kind of average. Am I not so good at that? Am I below average? Or am I really, really not so good at that? Am I in the lower 10% of that ability? So I'll show you an example of what that looks like. The first question or prompt in the abilities inventory is communication, using words to describe people, places, events, ideas, or feelings. And then it asks you to consider your ability to write interesting messages or emails, tell stories or speak to a class or group, prepare reports, essays, or articles. And it also asks you to consider how you did in classes like language arts, journalism, and speech. So this is something that students, instead of, when you ask a student, what are you good at? It's very difficult sometimes for students to answer that. Here's a way for them to really narrow down what are their skills. And it even tells them how to consider that, which I really love about this. And then again, a photo that shows a guy standing on a box and giving a presentation. Some people are scared to death of giving presentations and they're not good at it, and that's just how they are. So they're going to say, no, I'm low at that. I'm not doing that. Or maybe, you know, they'll look at this guy and say, yeah, that's me. I'm a talker. I'm this guy. I'm in the upper high 10%. So that's how the abilities inventory works. The next one is the values inventory. And that helps you see the way your values relate to your occupations. So this one is 22 characteristics of occupations, and it asks you if you don't want it, if it's not important to you, if it's somewhat important to you, or if it's very important to you to have these features in an occupation. So the first one in that inventory is working in an office. Do you want to work in an office setting most of the time? And then you just choose. And again, it shows you pictures of these guys in suits in an office. Now, some students may say, no way, I never want to sit in an office with a suit. That's a nightmare for me. And they'll say, no, don't want, and move on. Some students will say, man, that looks pretty cool. I want to be that business guy. I'm going to say I really want this. Or maybe they don't really care. But this is really simple. It's easy to follow, and it's sort of visually stimulating to have those photos with it, which I think is great for the ACT inventory. Now, once you get to the end of all your inventories, or even just one inventory, if that's what you choose to do, you can choose to explore careers. And this is what I love so much about the ACT inventories too. It gives you this career map, and you can see that it has these 6 categories of administration and sales, business operations, technical, science and technology, arts, and social service, which also fits in with that Holland Code RIASEC. And then it puts all of the careers in these categories. You can see also that it splits it into smaller categories of things that deal with people, things that deal with data, things that deal with things, and things that deal, or occupations that deal with ideas. So my matches, then it tells you here in the career map key, the career areas are gray. The blue ones match at least 1 inventory. So if you took 3 inventories, the blue one matches at least 1. If it's red, that means it matches 2 or more inventories. So those red ones are the ones that are really good matches for you. You can see that my results when I took this fell again into social services and arts, same as the ONET profiler. So again, this is a very reliable tool here to use. So I clicked on one of them to see what comes up when you click that. I clicked on that letter V there, and that came up as community services. And the inventories that matched this career cluster were my values inventory and my abilities inventory. Now you can see here in the featured occupations of this match that they said was a very good match for me, school counselor is right there in the featured occupations. So this is obviously my dream job, and this is very accurate. So I clicked on school counselor to see what they tell you about that occupation. And again, if you remember with the ONET inventory, when we went over the occupation, there were no pictures there. It was just a lot of words. So again, I think for high school students, this is nice because the pictures do add a bit of visual stimulation that may be better for students who have trouble with focus. But it gives you a snapshot, and then details, training, qualities, salary and outlook, and related careers. Again, very clear and easy to understand. So the snapshot says that school counselors help students develop academic and career goals, evaluate interests, abilities, and talents of students, help students with social, behavioral, and personal problems, work closely with parents, teachers, and school psychologists and nurses, work for elementary, middle, secondary schools, colleges, and universities, and work with students' personal interests and personality tests, computer and career guidance programs, career and job information, and training program information. Then it tells you the work setting for each occupation, as well as the tools that you will need to be a school counselor. So school counselors work with students, school health and employment records, standardized tests related to personality, intelligence, pre-employment, and personal interests, labor market information, classroom guidance, career information, etc. Then it tells you advancement. So for each career, it tells you if you start in this career, where can you go from there, which is really cool. That's a cool feature because it makes students think about what more is there out there after this career. Is there a place where I can move up someday if I choose to start at this career? Then it goes on to tell you about the training and the certification that's required for each vocation, very detailed explanation of what will be required. And here's a really great feature that is missing from the ONET site that I love about the ACT site. It tells you the recommended high school courses. So students can start preparing right now with really clear guidance about the classes that they may want to take in high school to prepare themselves to major in college for whatever's going to lead to this profession. Then it tells you the recommended activities. Again, great guidance for current high school students for ways to use maybe their community service hours. Maybe they can hone in on this and say, okay, this is what I should be doing for my community service hours to figure out maybe if this is really what I'm interested in. Do I want to be in a helping profession working with people who really need my help? So I think this is great guidance for high school students, and another reason why I love this tool so much. Then it goes on to tell you the majors that could prepare you for the occupation. Here it says counseling and student services and general psychology. And then when you click on those, it gives you a more detailed explanation of those majors. It goes on to tell you the likes that some people have about this career, that you help others, you work with people, you have pleasant working conditions, you have an office, and some of the dislikes that people might have with this career. You have stress and emotional burnout from dealing with problems on a daily basis. You may have large student caseloads, and you may have difficult students. I certainly don't have any difficult students, but you might if you go into this profession. So that's something that students can get a heads up about. What do people say they don't like about this career sometimes? Helpful qualities that a student can have: strong interest in helping others, an ability to inspire respect, trust, and confidence, ability to work independently and part of a team, good communication skills, knowing and following the code of ethics of your certification and license. And again, this is specific to the career of school counselor, but for every career, it's going to give these really great details and help students figure out, is this something I want to really pursue? The major map is another really cool feature here. So now this took all of my my inventory results, and it gave me the majors that I might want to look at. Here it's separated into those 4 sort of realms of data, things, ideas, and people. You can see my majors fall squarely within ideas, the realm of ideas and people. I definitely am not interested in any of these things with data. That's not my thing at all. And ideas and things, not my cup of tea either. Engineering and math, no way. But here's where I really belong. So, and you can see the black ones are just the major groups, and then the blue ones are the ones that match my interest inventory. So I clicked on social sciences to see what comes up there. And it tells you the 4-year degrees and the 2-year degrees that match your inventories. So I'm interested in a 4-year degree. I want to definitely do 4 years, not just 2. So I took a look at general psychology. That's something I might be interested in. So then it goes on to tell you about the major of psychology and what in general you would learn. You would learn to understand the field of psychology, study how the mind works, understand emotional reasons people behave, treat emotional and behavior problems and disorders. Then it tells you what type of certificate or degree is necessary to get a job, and you at least need a 4-year degree to get a typical job: psychologist, counselor, social worker, teacher, criminologist. And again, for each major, another thing I love here is it's geared toward high school students when it tells you the typical college courses that you may have to take and the suggested high school courses that you can be taking right now. So this is a great way to see, is this what I want to be studying in college? Do I want to be sitting in classes learning this stuff? The answer may be yes. If yes, that's great. If the answer is no, then you know you got to go back and try and try something else. Look at something else. Suggested high school courses. Now students have a real solid way to go to their counselor and say, I would like to take psychology next year or next semester or this semester. I need to make sure that I'm taking 4 years of social science, even though I only need 3. I need to really work on my English classes. Are there any child development classes I can take? Should I take a 3rd year of language if I haven't already taken the first 2, which, you know, all of these things, this give them a really good idea. And also clubs and group activities providing community services are another thing that they can get involved in right now to prepare them for the career that matches their interests, values, and abilities. So I love that. This then tells you the types of schools where psychology or whatever the profession is may be offered. Some programs are only offered by career and technical schools. The one that I picked, psychology, is generally offered in all levels. So you can get it at a career technical school, a 2-year college, a 4-year college, and a graduate school. But for some professions that are very specific, it may be only 1 or 2 of these options. And then it gives you the related majors. So if that's not exactly what you're looking for, you can choose another and explore that one. The ASVAB is another really great aptitude test that I do want to mention. The ASVAB is the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, and it is a test to evaluate personal skills and abilities. It's used for placement in the military, but it's not just for students who want to go into the military. It's also based on Holland's theory, but it consists of 8 individual tests, which include general science, arithmetic, reading, word knowledge, paragraph comprehension, mathematics knowledge, electronics information, auto and shop information, and mechanical comprehension. So it's really, really thorough. It's like almost a full day test, and it's paper, so I wasn't able to pull up screenshots for this one. But the 8 tests are then scored and used to create composite scores for verbal, math, science, and technical skills. And then they produce a broad number of occupations that the test taker may like to pursue. It helps students determine what they're good at. It's an abilities inventory, and determine what majors and careers might be a good fit based on their abilities. One of the best things about the ASVAB is that we give it for free every November, and we encourage students to sign up for this. We get hundreds of students that do sign up for it because it's one of the best known, most reliable inventories out there. And so we not only give it for free, we then have a whole thing to go over their results with them, to explain how to use the results. So this is a really valuable tool that we give free here at Park Vista. So if you're watching this now, I'm assuming you're interested in this career exploration, so please do find out about that for your student. Other resources that you may want to look at, careeronestop.org is a great one. BLS is the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and it's made for high school students, but there's a wealth of information for students of all ages. It shows different careers. It has inventories too. It's a great career exploration tool for high school students. myplan.com/careers is great for millennials because it incorporates a bit of brevity into a topic that's often scary, they say. So it's really geared towards millennials. It's short and sweet, tweet-like. So that might be something you may want to look at. And floridashines.org is a great resource that's specific to Florida, and also finding a career, all kinds of resources that are available to students in Florida. So that is about it for our presentation on career exploration for high school students. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like more information about anything that we talked about today, or career and major exploration in general, these are our school counselors here. Mr. Tarini is the alphabet A through CL, Ms. Stair, CO through GO, Ms. Verano, GR through LO, Ms. Turner, LO through UP through PE, LU through PE, Ms. Masterson, PH through S, Mr. DeWalt, T through Z, and I'm Amy Carlson. I am the counselor for all 504 plan students. So again, thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.